Well, here's a bit of context for the life that I've lived. As I start my fresh chapter in life, free from the shackles of the past, I am no longer in communication with any member of my blood family. But I knew this was going to be the case because I received prophetic visions in my dream state to prepare me. So maybe 10 years ago, I had the first dream. And in this dream, I was aware that a lion had escaped from the local zoo in my hometown, which there isn't a zoo because it is a zoo. Anyway, so I flew over to my mother and my sister, Abby, and I realised you can't fly and carry the weight of another human, let alone two. So I had to fly off because I very clearly remember thinking, am I getting eaten by a lion on the day that I find out I can fly? So I had to process that in real time, outside of the dream state, in waking life, while still loving my family, being love, trying to be, form of support. And then, maybe a year later, 2 years later, I don't know, I had the most disturbing dream that I've ever had. And bear in mind that I've had what I could describe as lived experiences of past life memories, like dying on a battlefield. But this is another thing, I think it's all related. Some of these generational wars. So, the next dream, my dad, the man who I thought was my dad, who raised me as his son. I had a very lucid dream where I was in a house and he was bearing down on me and I had no choice but to back away, and then I was backed into a corner. It was very clear that this man wanted to end my life in this scenario. And so I defended myself. I grabbed a kitchen knife and I plunged it through his heart and I watched him die. I looked in his eyes, he held my hand and he said, "It's not your fault." And I woke up crying. And then a bit closer to now, maybe a year later, I don't know, I had another dream. And in this dream, my brother was in a park somewhere with a gun, trying to shoot me. And I slowly walked over to him, took the gun off him, walked to the other side of the park, put it down, and walked away, diffusing the situation and creating a safe space. And then lastly, sometime last year, I was awoken, and bear in mind that my clairaudience gift has been coming online slowly. I was awoken by a very clear voice saying to me, "Shannon's dead." Now Shannon is the youngest of my siblings. I'm the oldest. My mother, father, brother, and 2 sisters, all featured in prophetic dreams, to facilitate my disconnection from every single one of them. And you'll notice that my nan, my nieces and nephews were not in my dreams. Just every single person who claimed to be family to me, directly. And now they can't be in my life because of the choices that they made as a unit. Directed by, guided, who knows, it's none of my business. I'm not a part of that group. I'm part of something much bigger. Because here's the thing. Real life caught up. The waking state. None of my family could choose to elevate with me. Or they didn't. The last I heard from Shannon, she messaged me, attacking me, and demanding that I never speak to her again, which I failed to adhere to because last year I sent her a message on my birthday, on our birthday. She was born on my 6th birthday. She never responded. I've had a few encounters with my brother where I've allowed him to express anger, not in a healthy way really. The last time I spoke to him, he was just attacking my character, not taking any accountability. So I have diffused his anger because energetically I will not receive that. I prompted him to consider the medical ramifications of holding on to anger, and that the children are always watching. And then he wants to try and rub his happiness in my face, and I'm saying no. I'm happy. You're miserable. You're miserable because you, my brother, have got everything that I have always wanted. And I don't mean I'm jealous. I mean I've always desired to have a family of my own. And yet you're still concerned with the past and talking about me and what I've done. So no, you're not happy, even though you've just got married. And then last September, when everything came to a head, when Abby, her husband John, and their daughter Eden were on holiday, Ian, the father, was looking after the house. I messaged him, found this out, and I said, okay, well, I would like to come to Chelmsley Wood, see people, because every time I've gone back to my hometown, it's been with the intention to keep the doors open, the table prepared for a discussion that never happened. I tried to therapize people. So I was there for 2 nights. Energetically, there was a disturbance because that man doesn't like to be seen to be saying no to people, because he'd rather that people think that he's a good man. So he wanted to say no, but he couldn't. When I said, can I come and stay there for a couple of days? I was living on the streets, by the way. So I passed through, I visited my nan. On the Sunday morning, I was getting prepared to leave because I was going somewhere else. I don't know where. Probably the sea. That's a common theme after passing through my hometown. And something was operating through this man to try and get to me. And that energy, or God, or me, whatever, it orchestrated an event where harsh, necessary words were spoken. And it triggered a state of fight or flight in the man, who actually at this point was being controlled by something else, because it all started when he was trying to show me videos of fishing, of a woman pulling live animals out of water with hooks knowing full well I don't agree with fishing, because I stopped fishing years ago. I used to go fishing with that man, but I stopped because it's barbaric. The last time I went fishing and fished, a little fish died, and I can still see that fish floating around on the top of the water. Blood. So he showed me this video, and I watched for a few seconds, and then the full weight of the brutality of it hit me. I felt the pain of the fish. And so in Abby's house, there's a goldfish. There used to be two called Goldie, and I don't remember because the other one died a long time ago. Ooh. So this fish was just in a little plastic tank, no ornaments. The water was filthy, just swimming around in his own shit. I used to help Eden to clean the fish out. I used to enjoy doing that with her. So I decided to clean the goldfish out as a courtesy, because no animal, no creature deserves to be wallowing in their own. So during this process of cleaning out the tank, I have to get the fish out, put them in a different little bowl. So I was doing this and I was connecting with the fish, and the fish was saying, I'm not happy. I don't want to live in this box. I'm being neglected. Where's my friend? Where's the castle gone? Where's the gravel? So I decided I was going to emancipate the fish and take the fish over to the river where it could die free and live free, whatever. I stated my intention, and this man who promotes violence against animals, for a bit of context, the discussion that we had, the theme of that discussion was respect. I mentioned to this man how I've never been able to respect him, really, because I've never seen him stand up for what is right or for himself. And in that moment, he chose to make a stand for what he believed was right. And that is, you can't take that goldfish because it doesn't belong to you. And I said it doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to God. That soul is just as valuable as mine or yours. And I will fight to the death to defend what I believe in. Now, using that word, death, that's going to trigger, isn't it? Because somebody might hear that and think, oh, I've got to kill this man because he's going to kill me. But I didn't say that. I would never kill. How would I kill in the name of non-violence? Please tell me how I would prove the point of peace with murder. So, my mistake was that I expressed my intention instead of just getting my stuff together and going. But I was getting my stuff ready. This man was bearing down on me in the house like my dream. I was backing up until I came to the sofa. And then I was like, well, I've got to put this fish down because it's alive. I put the fish down on a pile of clothes. As I turned around, I received a punch in the face from, well, not face to face. Got Judased. Popped my nose. Oh, that's disorientating, isn't it? Hold on a minute. I haven't even got time to process what's actually happening here. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this man is attacking me. Okay, so I got to witness myself gouging this man's eye, biting his arm, pulling his earring out. I got to see that man's blood. So for about 10 or 15 minutes, I sustained the attack. I had my foot in his groin. My hands were like this, like holding off the punches, and it was just like a machine, just like this, just wouldn't stop. At one point I had to wrap my legs around him. His t-shirt ripped and was all over my leg. I called on Archangel Michael at one point, and when I realised that I wasn't going to die, when I relaxed, somehow, strangely, it's just insane, when I relaxed into what was going on, I started to enjoy myself, like I was sort of hysterical. I was having a whale of a time when I understood my own strength, but then that was also in place of contextualizing the whole fucking experience. Like, 38 years, this man was one thing, and then now all of a sudden he's an assassin. And when I tell you that there was no human present, when I looked into those eyes and saw vacancy, that's what shook me the most. So, eventually, the energy was not there for attack. So it was gone, drained. I held off all of that because don't forget, I was getting energy. I was absorbing the energy without getting hit. Literally, the only mark I had on me that day was right there, right next to that tattoo, just a tiny, tiny X. Like, touch not my anointed. Even that is too much. So, eventually I escaped, got out of the house, screaming, rolling around on the grass, banging the floor. Obviously drew a crowd. I ran over the road, there was a man and a woman in a car. I said, help me. And the man said, no. I just said no. Not even a fucking excuse, just no. Nah, bro. We're listening to Taylor Swift in here, bro. What the fuck? Get out. So, eventually the police were called because there's been a disturbance. There was a crowd of people watching me in my traumatized state. The police came and held me captive in a bus stop. I tried to go away from them because I couldn't deal with them on top. They weren't helping me. They asked me what happened. I told them the truth. I wasn't calm. They went and asked this man, and he calmly lied. Like, really? Because he was the one with the injuries. Because I am the one with mental health history. Because narcissists convince people easily. I don't blame that man for being under demonic control. I don't blame anybody for not having God in their life. I don't even blame humans for their choices because, frankly, I'm so blessed now. Everybody that's ever fucked me over or done me dirty has massively contributed to my success. There's not been many people that believed in me in this life. There was one, and she died. It's like it's took me this long to accept that my nan actually died, and it's been 20 years. But to say, actually, I still feel your heart and your family values, how you reflected that to me. I don't care about my nan's relationship with anybody else. She loved me. Golden she was. And when the matriarch of a family leaves, what's left? If she was the real strength, well, this is where it gets interesting, because I am now the matriarch of that family, but could never be accepted as such because it doesn't compute. And people think that they're supposed to teach their children rather than learn from them and all this shit. So, okay, well, I'll just be me. And the people who are like me, my family, who would never judge or criticize me, would never use violence in any way to achieve any means, those ones are with me. And so how could I ever be bitter about the past when I've got so much wonderful opportunity and so many blessings in human form in my life? I think the moral of this story is that you can come back from anything, and there is nothing that we cannot let go of in this life. In fact, it's necessary. We have to understand the roles that we play in order to dissolve them, to become the role of me, just me. Not me relative to how other people receive me or what I can do for it. No. Yeah. Well, let me know if anything in this video has resonated with an experience that you've had, because we definitely need to support each other in these instances, you know? It's no joke losing the only support network you ever thought you had, even if it wasn't very supportive. So, I love you. You're my family now. Peace. Stop the video. I'm not trying to zoom in and all out. Stop.